Welcome back to Movie Rewind. Today I will recap for you a drama, thriller film from 2002 titled Swimfan. Spoilers ahead, watch out, and take care. Ben is a high school senior who appears to have everything a young man could want in life. Ben has a perfect relationship with his adoring girlfriend, Amy, and a good job working at a hospital alongside his mother, Carla. Also, a standout swimmer, Ben's swim coach, Mr. Simpkins, notifies Ben that 2 recruiters from Stanford University will be scouting Ben at the upcoming meet, which is just 8 days away. Amy is very happy for Ben, but the thought of Stanford complicates things as Amy is already enrolled at Rhode Island. Ben assures her that nothing will change regardless of the distance between them, and he opens a jewelry box to reveal the pendant he had bought her. One day, Ben helps a new student, Madison, get into her locker using one of her metal hairpins, and after playing the part of a hero and saving her from missing class, Madison tells him to keep it in case she needs saving again. Later, Ben's teammate, Josh, asks Ben if he has seen the new girl Madison because Josh has a thing for her. The only problem is she's staying with her cousin, Chris, who Josh often bullies. Instead of a hero, Ben almost becomes a villain the next day when he gets distracted on the way home from school, and nearly hits Madison with his truck. Ben insists on driving her home, and after discovering that Madison left her music notebook on his seat, he goes back the following day to return it. Madison notes that she hasn't eaten anything all day, so the two go out for a bite to eat and Madison asks where he learned to pick locks. As an adolescent, Ben developed a problem with drugs, which later became a stealing problem, culminating with a 6-month stint at a juvenile detention center. It became a positive, however, after he discovered the rec center had an Olympic pool, where Ben picked up swimming as a healthier outlet and straightened out his life in the process. Madison says she turns to music as an escape, then begins flirting with him, and when Ben stops her by saying that he has a girlfriend, Madison says it's fine because she has someone waiting for her back in New York. Despite knowing that he should take Madison home, Ben allows her to convince him otherwise and they end up going to the school pool. There, Madison strips down to her underwear and joins Ben in the water, but halfway in she confesses that she's unable to swim, so she asks Ben if he will teach her. Ben swims backward to keep Madison afloat, and at the end of the pool they end up face to face with Ben sandwiched between Madison and the edge. Their urges take over and the two begin kissing, eventually having sex in the pool. Madison tells Ben to say that he loves her, noting that it's okay if he doesn't mean it, she just likes to hear the words. Afterward, Ben drops Madison off at home and they agree to keep things a secret. Ben still finds himself distracted the following day and his performance at swim practice suffers. The awkwardness continues when Ben attends a party that night, only to have Amy introduce Madison as a friend, while Ben and Madison act like they are strangers. Then later, Amy steps outside to move Ben's truck for someone, and when Madison warns that she may have left her underwear on the seat, Ben runs to stop Amy just in time. In the coming days, Ben tries to maintain some distance between himself and Madison, but she persists, seemingly unable to take a hint. Madison sends notes to his pager, looks for him in the school hallways, and sends instant messages using the handle Swimfan85. After hoping the situation would eventually blow over, Ben realizes he has a problem when he returns home and sees Madison in his living room, having delivered a floral bouquet to his mother. Ben pulls Madison aside and tries addressing her behavior more directly, but Madison only gets more upset, saying she doesn't understand why Ben wants to pretend that nothing happened. The next day, Ben is at swim practice when he learns that Madison has begun dating Josh, and while Ben is initially relieved that Madison has finally moved on, he soon discovers that is not the case. First, Madison emails him a candid photo of herself, which Amy nearly sees on his computer. Next, Madison corners him in the locker room to confront him about ignoring her calls, adding that the relationship with Josh means nothing to her. Ben, in the most direct way possible, tells Madison that he wants nothing to do with her, but she brings up the time he told her that he loved her, and in disbelief, Ben snaps back that she forced him to. The next day at work, Ben remains dejected and in a bad mood. He is short with all the patients, including his favorite one, Mr. Tillman, who Ben nearly kills after administering the wrong medication. The mistake costs Ben his job, despite being adamant that he double-checked the prescriptions. Certain that Madison is somehow involved in what occurred at the hospital, Ben rushes to the school where he finds Madison in the music room, rehearsing. With his hands placed on her neck, Ben aggressively warns her about the ongoing meddling in his life. Next, Ben visits Amy at work, planning to come clean to her about everything. Amy, however, doesn't get off her shift until 1 a.m., and since Ben needs to rest for the following day's swim meet, Amy says she'll skip first period so they can talk then. Unfortunately, that plan never comes to fruition because by the time Ben arrives at school the next morning, the whole class knows about his encounter with Madison, and a tearful Amy slaps Ben in the face. Nevertheless, with a Stanford scholarship on the line, Ben does his best to pull things together and stay focused on that evening's meet. Just as the event is about to begin, Coach Simpkins is told that Ben's drug test came back positive for anabolic steroids and Ben is therefore disqualified from competing. Ben stops on the way out to ask Josh about Madison, and when his teammate hesitates in responding, Ben accuses him of being complicit in framing him. Even Ben's mother has trouble believing his story due to his troubled history of drug abuse. While making out with Josh the following afternoon, Madison mistakenly refers to Josh as Ben, at which point Josh realizes that Ben had been telling the truth. He asserts that Ben would never use steroids because he simply doesn't need them. He chastises Madison for ruining Ben's life, before getting out of the car and leaving. Some hours later, Ben finds Josh's wooden baseball bat in his locker, but he doesn't think much of it and sets the bat aside. Ben then enters the pool and goes for a swim only to run into Josh's dead body floating in the water. At the funeral, a smug detective who remembers Ben from his delinquency days waits outside the service to interrogate Ben about his story. Josh's death was caused by blunt force trauma to the head with a bat containing Ben's fingerprints, but when he challenges the detective to place him under arrest, he walks away after telling Ben not to leave town. Determined to conduct his own investigation, Ben breaks into Madison's house. In her room, Ben finds a hospital volunteer coat, a bottle of anabolic steroid pills, and a box full of his newspaper clippings alongside a creepy photo. Chris catches Ben snooping around Madison's bedroom, and after warning Ben that she will kill him if she finds him there, Chris sneaks Ben out of the house using the back door. Outside, Chris catches up to Ben at his truck and says that he needs to show Ben something. Jake Donnelly was a multi-sport athletic standout from Madison's hometown in New York. Like Ben, Madison had also become obsessed with Jake, who is now on life support from a near-fatal car accident, which Madison had also been involved in but survived. Meanwhile, Madison puts on men's clothing and a hat to look like Ben, then uses a copy of the keys she had made while at his house, to steal Ben's truck and give the appearance that he ran Amy off the road. Upon learning that Amy had survived the crash, Madison dons her white hospital coat and walks covertly through the hospital, intending to find Amy and finish the job. In the meantime, Carla notifies Ben of Amy's accident, and she warns Ben that he is the prime suspect. Ben grabs Jake's high school jacket from his hospital room, then garners Madison's attention by having Jake Donnelly paged over the public address system. The plan works. Madison notices the jacket and follows the person she believes to be Jake down the corridor and out to the parking garage. The hat is removed, revealing the person to be Chris, and Madison goes after him with the scalpel. Ben intervenes, and after holding the scalpel to her throat, Madison confesses to Josh's murder but says Ben doesn't have the guts to do the same. And although Ben makes no effort to dispute her claim, his friend Renee stood by and recorded Madison's entire confession, making Ben's willingness to kill Madison a moot point. The police arrive on the scene soon after to verify the accusations, and Madison is then placed under arrest. Following the incident at the hospital, Amy returns home with Ben, where he shares with her a story about his parents' prior relationship, and after issuing another heartfelt apology, Amy finally forgives him. After they reconcile, Amy is left to rest in Ben's room, while at the same time, Madison, who escaped police custody and stole the police cruiser, lures Ben outside by ringing his doorbell. After finding no one at the door, Ben returns to the kitchen, and just as he notices his mother on the ground unconscious, Madison strikes him in the head with a swimming trophy. Upon waking, Ben finds his mother conscious but disoriented. He immediately dials 911 before rushing upstairs to check on Amy, only to discover that she is now missing. With no leads as to Amy's whereabouts, Ben takes off in his truck and soon receives a page asking if he feels like a dip. Ben heads to the pool, where he finds Amy handcuffed to a chair, with Madison standing by hovering over her. There, Madison demands that Ben admit that he loves her, and when Ben refuses, Madison pushes Amy into the pool. Ben follows her in and attempts to save her, but the chair is too heavy, and every time he resurfaces for air, Madison attacks him with a wooden pole. Ben dives down again, but this time he uses Madison's hairpin, from the first time they met, to unlock the handcuffs and separate Amy. And upon resurfacing, instead of dodging Madison's strikes, he grabs the pole and pulls her headfirst into the water. As Madison flails, still unable to swim, Ben pulls Amy onto the pool deck and administers CPR. Amy soon coughs up water and begins breathing again, but by the time they turn back and look at the pool, Madison has already drowned. The movie ends with Ben at the aquatic center, but this time as a spectator instead of a swimmer. He then rejoins Amy, who is waiting for him in the car, and they clasp hands as they drive away together. Okay guys, thank you for watching. Please leave a like on the video, and subscribe to the channel to see more.